Thank you, Mr. President. Will the distinguished sponsor yield the floor to this representation for some clarificatory questions?
Yes, certainly, Your Honor, Mr. President. Your interventions will be very much welcome, being the former Chief PNP of the Philippine National Police.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. I will keep this short, though. Before I tackle the proposed budget of the department proper, let me deal first with the PNP proposed budget, not only because it is the closest to my heart, but because it carries the biggest chunk of the pie, so to speak. 225 billion, as you stated earlier, out of the proposed budget from the Senate version of 308, constituting 73% of the entire DILG budget. So with that said, ito yung first concern. I was told by the chairperson himself that there's a plan to abolish the PNP Air Unit. Is it still the right term for the air unit of the PNP? PNP Air Unit? Is it a confirmed information that there's a plan to abolish the unit?
Your Honor, Mr. President, according to our DLG Secretary, there's a plan to shift to using drones by establishing a Skynet unit system. Kasi po medyo they find it a little bit expensive to maintain. Currently, there are about 9 air assets of the Philippine National Police right now, the air unit. 6 Airbus helicopters, 2 Robinsons, and a fixed wing. So medyo namamahalan daw po sila sa sa maintenance. So that was the rationale behind on why they would want a shift into using drones instead of our present air unit by using the Airbus choppers, Mr. President.
So when that happens, how will it be called now? Drone unit? PNP drone unit? By the way, how many air assets do we have right now? Fixed wing and chopper, helicopters.
Your Honor, Mr. President, we have 6 Airbus choppers, 2 Robinson R44 for training, and 1 fixed wing. 1 fixed wing plane, Mr. President. Actually, ito po binild up po natin after we were the Senate that sponsored this. After the Mama Sapano incident, para wala na sanang sisihan noon, at least we revived the air unit as far as I can remember during those times. So we were able to build up to 6 units. Kaya po naging 6 Airbus and 2 Robinson R44 choppers.
And how many are operational?
Right now, there are 4 out of 6 are operational, Mr. President, of the Airbus. Yung po R44 for training are all operational.
How many pilots do we have?
At present, there are about 39 pilots from the PNP. Dati po kasi nung
39.
Nung nawala na yung air unit, nasa 3 na lang po yung pilots natin that
so
time.
Wala na po tayong air unit ngayon actually?
Meron pa rin.
Meron pa rin.
Meron pa, Mr. President, that's just a proposal to shift to drones. Actually, meron silang ang proposal is to just transfer or donate some of the air unit, in case. To the Coast Guard, kasi yung Coast Guard only has 2. Isa lang yung operational. So that was the plan, to establish a drone, yung pong network na in-establish po nila.
And there's no more plan to maintain air assets? No more?
The plan is to maintain just 2 air assets, Mr. President, Your Honor.
Kasi kung wala na, baka yung PNP na lamang yung police force in the entire world na walang air unit. Kasi the LAPD itself, and I think, sa crime prevention, pati sa crime suppression, I think helicopters, especially those that have night flying capabilities, will be a great help, di ba? catching criminals, monitoring, everything. Sayang.
Well, according to our DL Secretary, that the drones can function but
take-
at 5% of the cost, Mr. President.
Why? How much are we spending on a per annum basis to maintain the air assets?
Mr. President, actual requirement is about 89 million, but our allocation is about 39,432,000 from the NEP. So ito po yung this is from the Senate, no? Amendment.
Yes.
Our amendment, we added, so nasa 50 million na po ang ating
For
pong maintenance.
2026.
For
Then after
2026.
2026, since dalawa na lang yung choppers, we'll trim down the appropriation.
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. President.
Compared to when we maintain drones, how many drones are we planning to procure?
They plan to procure about 10 long duration drones, Mr. President.
For the entire country? Hindi ba kulang yon? Or limited to urban centers?
Yung pong yung target nila 30 na 3-hour capacity and about 10 with the 12-hour capacity.
So we will still have a PNP air unit with 2 helicopters and around 10 drones. Ganun na lang yung ating equipage.
About 40 drones, Mr.
40.
President. About.
So
Long-range drones daw po ito, Mr. President.
So ito na yung standard na equipage for the PNP air unit.
That's the proposal, Mr. President.
Anyway, we'll not question the discretion or the wisdom of the PNP leadership, including the DILG Secretary. Now, we'll shift to another topic, yung Manila Bay Rehabilitation Program and the Pasig River Development Program. We have noted an allocation of 26 million and 54 million respectively under the NEP. May we know what specific activities or components will be funded under these allocations for 2026? Relatedly, for the Pasig River Development Program in particular, how will these funds complement the ongoing interagency efforts? Kasi meron tayong DNR, MMDA, DPWH, and the newly constituted Pasig River Urban Development Coordinating Council. So how will we complement the interagency efforts?
Mr. President, ito po yung present task. Liquid waste management, management of informal settler families, and on coastal resource management.
Mostly for relocation.
Apo, kasama po. At saka yung Manila Bay clean up, Mr. President.
Clean up. This is just an aside, and I'm not questioning the discretion nor the authority of the NAPOLCOM, especially the ex officio. Why is General Nartates still acting Chief PNP? Don't get me wrong, I have not spoken to General Nartates, not to mention that he used to be my AD camp when I was Chief PNP. Hindi kami nag-usap dito. I'm just asking out of curiosity. I'm not questioning your discretion or your authority. Is there still a plan to reconsider General Nick Torre to be recalled as Chief PNP? That's why General Nartates is still acting? My understanding, Mr. President, yung rank kasi iba sa position. He can be full-time Chief PNP if the NAPOLCOM feels that he is fully qualified with three stars on his shoulders. No, it doesn't matter. And when Nick Torre retires, then nabakate yung 4-star position. That's the time that he can be promoted. But, you know, position and rank are two different matters.
Yes, you're correct, Mr. President. Because General Nick Torre still has not resigned or has not
He
retired.
resigned as Chief PNP.
He
di ba?
resigned as Chief PNP.
So he's no longer Chief PNP.
No
So
more,
the
Mr.
position
President.
of Chief PNP is vacant.
That is correct, Mr.
Although
President.
the rank is not vacated yet. So
That is
even if
correct.
General Tartes is appointed Chief PNP full-time, he can still be Chief PNP with 3-star rank. There's no problem with that. That's my point.
That is correct,
I was
Mr.
Chief
President.
PNP with 2 stars at first, you know, and then 3 stars. Eventually, when General Alino retired, no, compulsory retirement or I think early retirement, that's when I got my 4 stars. That's my point. No? And I repeat, no, I've not spoken to General Tates. He's not spoken to me. It just occurred to me a while ago. Baka malasin si Tating.
Your Honor, Mr. President, according to our DLG Secretary, they're studying the possibility or if wala naman ho daw kasing ano eh.
There's no legal
prohibition.
impediment.
There's no legal impediment.
Yeah.
Wala akong provision that
Ngayon,
to have
kung
2
tinetest pa
4
nila
stars.
si Tating, I have no question anymore. As I said, I'm not questioning the discretion. I'm not questioning the authority. I'm just expressing my view that rank and position are two different things. No, hindi related ito. Related, of course, kung mag-full-time Chief PNP, bigyan ng 4 na estrella. But in the meantime, that the 4-star rank is not available, there's no legal impediment to appoint a 3-star general, police general, to become permanent Chief PNP.
According to our DLG
Unless
Secretary,
there's a problem, I will not question anymore. Kung very lax, then
Your Honor, Mr. President, according to our DLG Secretary, they have forwarded already to the Office of the President yung pong for the permanent appointment of our current Chief PNP.
thank you. Okay na yung curiosity ko. Now, let's go to the DILG proper, ano, yung budget. Based on the DILG submissions, yung original budget proposal for 2026, 347 billion, di ba? And change. 347 billion, 445 million. No? Ang inapprove lang ng DBCC, 285. Now, ang tanong ko is, ano yung mga masasacrifice ng mga PAPs because of the reduction?
Your Honor, Mr. President, these are the priorities not considered. Accelerated water and sanitation project in selected areas. Support for meeting sustainable development goals. Patubig para sa bayan, buhay para sa mamamayan. Harmonizing actions in local planning for disaster adaptation. Infrastructure audit for local government. Support for Pasig River Urban Development Project. Local infrastructure monitoring and evaluation, and last but not the least, comprehensive social benefits program.
Okay, similarly, were the PAPs adversely affected by the reduction in the NEP, addressed by the increase affected by the House and the Senate versions? Kasi nadagdagan sila ng 22 billion from the NEP, from the original proposed budget. So ano yung nakatulong, which PAPs ano, ang matutulungan ng net increase ng Senate version, up to the Senate version?
Your Honor, Mr. President, our DLG Secretary wrote our Senate President for the request of additional budget allocation in favor of the Department of DILG
Ano na yung, from the reduction ng NEP, ano yung natulungan from the increase?
Ito ba? Ito. The most significant, Mr. President, because of the Senate intervention is the subsistence allowance of
Subsistence
allowance
Hindi
of
abstinence.
subsistence allowance of uniformed personnel. The procurement of 65 units of 1,000-gallon fire trucks, construction of 65 fire stations. So ito yung pinakamalaki po, yung subsistence allowance of all subsistence. Pasensya na, nabubulag lang. Subsistence allowance of uniform personnel and the procurement of fire trucks. At least wala na po tayong backlog. Before, as far as I can remember, Mr. President, last year nasa 180 pa yata yung backlog natin na LGUs without fire stations or fire trucks. But now, with the procurement of 65 units and the construction, wala na po tayong backlog. So malaking bagay itong subsistence allowance for for BFP, PNP, and
Out of the
BGMP.
Senate intervention.
Yes, out of the Senate intervention. At least we are now at par, Mr. President, with the AFP subsistence allowance.
Yeah, thank you very much. Based on the 2025 mid-year report, yung obligation rate ng DILG, medyo mababa, no? Roughly 58%. That's as of mid-year, as of June 30. Now, I want to find out kung meron ng update as of November or as of October man lang, third quarter. I'm sure gumalaw na ito, no? Hindi na ito 58%.
According to the DILG Secretary, Your Honor, Mr. President, by third quarter, nasa 70% na po ang kanilang
Okay.
rate, Mr. President.
So they can still catch up, ano? Okay, as reflected in the statement of allotments, obligations, and disbursements, yung SAOB, 136 billion remained unobligated as of the second quarter. Nag-move na rin ito.
Yes, Your Honor, Mr.
Updated
President.
figure. Ano yung updated figure nito?
Actually, yung as of September 30, 2025, the DLG-wide budget utilization is 76% obligation rate and 96% disbursement rate.
So yung unobligated na 136 billion as of today or as of September, ilan na lang naiwan na unobligated?
Your Honor, Mr. President, ang natitira lang po about 24% or about a balance of 6.198 billion, Mr. President.
So yung dating 136, naging 6 billion na lang yung unobligated.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's impressive. So yung confidence level ninyo, mapupuli utilize na ninyo yun yung increased budget for 2026 kasi halos consume na rin yung 2025, di ba?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. President, they're confident
Thank
that
you.
they will reach a 100%.
Yeah, and congratulations pagkaganyan. Yung disaster preparedness, how is the DILG strengthened? Kasi Vice Chairman yung DILG Secretary, di ba? Ng NDRMC. How is the department strengthening and expanding the disaster preparedness capacities of local government units? Kasi ang daming storms ngayon, ang daming calamities. So ano yung specific policy reforms, innovative programs na ini-implement ng ating department?
Your Honor, Mr. President, according to our DLG Secretary, that all the 40,000 barangays are now informed of their hazard zones para po prepared na po sila. And then the department ensures that LGs are well prepared for disasters and emergencies through the operation of LISTO program. Yung kanilang LISTO program. Ito po yung continuous support to DLG's regional offices in conducting disaster preparedness activities and implementing DRRM SICAM programs, projects, and activities. Active monitoring of LGU compliance through the disaster online reporting and monitoring systems with ongoing coordination between the central and regional offices. Last but not least, institutionalization of preparedness mechanisms by integrating Operation Listo protocols and other DRRM SICAM policies into local government and planning processes.
Yes, thank you. Are they using hazard maps? Kasi meron ito noong 2011, as early as 2011, merong memorandum circular informing the LGUs of the availability of the hazard maps to support them in crafting their local disaster risk reduction and management plan. No? So are they utilizing the hazard maps?
Yes,
available ba ito in all local government units?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. President, from cities, LGUs, all the way to the 40,000 barangays, according to our DLG Secretary.
Pati doon sa kanilang zoning ordinances, gamit itong lahat.
They are supplied with
Hazard maps.
Hazard maps, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Tsaka it's also available the DOST website, yung pong hazard areas.
Thank you. Yung support to local governance program, no? Importante ito kasi dito yung strengthening ng mga local development councils. Ano? Kasi ang effort natin yan is really get them involved in the preparation of the National Expenditure Program, maximize the participation. In fact, the President himself, diba, he issued Executive Order 82, diba, strengthening, enhancing the participation of the RDCs. And the RDCs, they rely heavily on the LGCs, di ba? Local Government Councils. Kasi sa ngayon, we're still at 35% of the entire President's budget or sa budget call. Ang pumapasok lamang sa NEP, nasa mga 35% output ng RDCs. So we want to further enhance that. No? Makarating man lang tayong 50-60%. So what is the DILG doing to support the inclusion of RDC endorsed projects in the NEP?
Your Honor, Mr. President, according to the DLG Secretary, before the DPWH does not give importance, no? Di masyado pinapansin the RDC. But after this floodgate scandal, the President himself already gave the order that our DPWH should respect and require RDC approval, especially for flood mitigation projects, Mr. President. So
we can still play catch up, ano? Kasi tapos na yung NEP, but with the Senate now, the Senate's intervention, we can still consult the RDCs, the local government councils, if we intend to amend the National Expenditure Program and even the House version. And I think that's an acceptable approach. You know? If we intend to further strengthen the role of the local development councils, in consultation with them, we can introduce amendments do sa mga PAPs, especially concerning infrastructure projects under the DPWH. Diba?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. President, according to our DLG Secretary, they have already reformatted so that next year, yung pong RDCs will be able to endorse some projects that are really needed, no? Na hindi na maulit muli. Yung nangyari ngayon na talagang kahit wala pong knowledge, without knowledge of the LG official, the LGUs, the Regional Development Council, yung po DPWH went on their own, no? Just to have their projects. So, but kaya nga po daw tinamad daw yung mga RDCs, no? With this. But kasi nga hindi pinapansin. But with all of this floodgate scandal and all, now the RDCs will be playing an important role to make sure that the anomalous projects will be prevented, no? By at least the local government units concerned or the regional or the province and region will now have a say on the projects that will be implemented in their respective areas.
Thank you. Yung growth, another topic, Growth Equity Fund, 1 billion. Sufficient ba ito? To help the disadvantaged and lagging LGUs? Will it be sufficient? 1 billion Growth Equity Fund.
Your Honor, Mr. President, according to it's not enough, no? Realistically speaking, it's not enough because there are a lot of LGUs that are really in need of assistance, no, from the national government, Mr. President. Kaya lang this is a DBM approved allocation, Mr. President.
Kasi yung special provision dito sa Growth Equity Fund under the ALGO LGSF, yung Local Government Support Fund, it does not provide targets and misses as well in crafting the incentives. So maybe we can propose a special provision for the Growth Equity Fund which will outline the incentives and set the targets para sa mga LGUs. With the help of the DILG, maybe we can help each other craft a special provision in this regard. Kindly take note, Mr. Chairman, so we can
Yes, Your
work
Honor, Mr.
along this
President.
line.
We'll take note of that kasi po meron pong criteria ang DBCC, no? Yung poverty incidence, low income class LGUs, and yung mga GIDA LGUs, no? Yung sa mga geographically isolated and the disaster prone areas, Mr. President.
Yeah. Sige. Meron pa rito pero medyo may lakad pa yata si Secretary Remulla. May mga magtatanong pa. I'll just wind up. So thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you as well, Senator Lacson.
Majority Leader.